of their favorite players, hardly for say 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, as the Indian team would enter this particular venue. That's the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium at Chepauk, and just an hour and a half from now, the match will begin. The campaign for the Indian team will also start. Aishwarya.
Well, Rahul, you said that we can obviously see the number of people who are standing behind you, but for a for a country as crazy as we are, for cricket, the big question on everyone's mind is, will we get the better of the kangaroo today?
Well, these are two formidable sides. The Indian team, 3 months back, if you would have asked me or anybody whether the Indian team will win the World Cup, whether the Indian team will beat the Australians, I think a lot of people would have had doubts. But what has happened in the last 1.5 months, everybody, the kind of confidence, the form and the game that everybody amongst these 15 members needed, they've got it. You've got runs from Virat, Shubman, Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, everybody has chipped in. And amongst the bowlers, so the Indian team looks very formidable, but the Australian team is a balanced side, is a very well balanced team, and they know how to perform in the big events. Every time a tournament starts, a big tournament starts, and if you ask somebody to predict their top 4, Australia invariably will be one of the first choices for everybody. So Australians,
right.
By the way, this particular city, they love yellow. They love the color yellow because of Chennai Super Kings. But I have my doubts if this city will support the yellow this time around.
Thank you, Rahul, my colleague from right outside the stadium where the big match will take place in about 1.5 hours from now. And with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. Thank you for watching India Today. For more news and updates, you can log on to indiatoday.in. You can also download the app. This is me, Israel-Palestine, signing off.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
Hello everyone, this is Anita Brito in conversation with the one and only श्याम कौशल. हेलो सर, कैसे हो आप?
हेलो, नमस्कार जी.
अभी भी आप कंटिन्यू कर रहे हो और आपके बहुत अच्छे लाइनअप्स है, जैसे आपने बोला डंकी है, फिर आपके पास जो बंगाली मूवी है वो भी है,
ये बंगला बंधु. हाँ जी.
प्लीज उसके बारे में थोड़ा इन डेप्थ बात कीजिए, थोड़ा डंकी के बारे में हमें बात कीजिए. इट्स एन ऑल एंड आउट एक्शन फिल्म.
नो, इट इज नॉट ए, देयर इज एक्शन इन इट.
बट मुझे ये जानना है आपसे, ये पर्सनल क्वेश्चन है, आपको सबसे ज्यादा कौन से एक्टर के साथ काम करके मजा आया, मुझे ये बताइए.
मैंने अमित जी के साथ काम किया, अमित जी से लेके सभी के साथ जितने भी आगे सभी के साथ काम किया. फिर जो साउथ के भी मोस्टली सुपरस्टार्स उनके साथ भी काम किया. पर आज तक भगवान की दुआ से कभी किसी के साथ इशू नहीं हुआ, कभी कुछ नहीं हुआ, सबसे प्यार ही मिला है. तो मेरा एक मानना होता है, जैसा मैं आज भी ओपनली बोलता हूँ कि पिछले मैं 43 साल में मेरे को कोई बुरा आदमी नहीं मिला. तो मैं कभी सोचता नहीं हूँ कि अगर कुछ कमियां होंगी तो मेरे में होंगी. कोई बुरा आदमी नहीं है, कोई भी ऐसा. जब मैं एक्टर्स, मेरे जो छोटे हैं जैसा रणबीर सिंह, रणबीर कपूर, अर्जुन कपूर, उन्होंने मेरे साथ शुरू किया, जब भी मिलते पैर छूते हैं, ऐसा बच्चों की तरह. तो आप अगर उनको प्यार देते हो तो आपको सामने से प्यार मिलेगा ही.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
It's bowled in. Excellent yoga. That's a tremendous start for young Zahir.
Zahir, पहले हैप्पी बर्थडे. शुक्रिया।
45 साल के हो गए हैं, लगते हैं 21 साल के। You could still bowl for India. अभी भी bowling कर सकते हो?
हाँ, थोड़ा समय दोगे तो कर लेंगे।
His allocation of 10 overs, Zahir Khan picks up a second.
You know, as a team going in the tournament as favourites and then living up to the expectations and lifting that cup was very, very special and satisfying.
And he's got him. Slower ball's done his job once again.
Who's going to win the World Cup? Who is Zahir Khan's pick for the World Cup? What does your head say? What does your heart say?
Oh, like that. I think head and heart are rooting for India.
Giving the charge. The pressure has got to him. The pressure has got to England. It's 3 wickets for Zahir in quick succession.
Well, a tournament like World Cup is the motivation, isn't it?
One final piece of advice you want to give this team. The one thing from as a World Cup winner that you want to tell the 2023 team as they go into this big World Cup.
I think soak in the pressure and be free.
Hello and welcome to this India Today special. The World Cup is here and India is hoping to win the World Cup after 12 long years. We're here at the Modernist at the Four Seasons Hotel, its exclusive lounge, with a very exclusive individual, the one and only Zahir Khan, who was part of that winning 2011 World Cup team. Appreciate your joining us here,
Thank you,
Zahir.
Rajdeep.
I have to ask you and take you back to 2011. We're not too far away from the Wankhede Stadium. 12 years. Is that day still fresh in your mind when you won the World Cup?
Yes, of course. And I think the fact that every time the World Cup comes or every time you meet someone, you are constantly reminded of what we have achieved. So, special achievement, and every time you think about it, you feel very proud of the fact that you could achieve it for your country. It was in front of the home crowd, so that makes it even more special. And you know, as a team going in the tournament as favourites and then living up to the expectations and lifting that cup was very, very special and satisfying.
What's your favourite memory of that day? Something that you will never forget from that day?
Well, I think every bit of it, the whole lead up to the World Cup was very awesome for us. You know, we were talking about just imagining the journey, even though well before the journey even started. You know, so all the preparation was very good. But for me, obviously, the finals was something which was special. And I'm saying that because I had an experience of the final before, which was in 2003, which was not a very pleasant one. You reach so close to lifting the cup, you play so well, and then in the finals, you can't set the tone for the game. You know, so those were the memories I had, which was I looked at it as a lesson, you know, to be carried forward, and it came handy very well for the finals. So the first spell of the finals has got to be right up there.
You know, because I remember that first spell, 4 overs, 3 maidens, 2 runs and 1 wicket. To get 3 consecutive maidens is something no one else has done. It was quite remarkable. You got Tharanga's wicket as well in front of your home crowd, one of your home crowds in Mumbai. Therefore, you know, is that the key factor as we look at this World Cup? You were able to learn from your mistakes and were able to handle the pressure of a World Cup final. Is that going to be a key even now?
It's always going to be the key for anyone. I think, you know, when you're talking about the finals, what happens around that is something which can take you away from the game. You know, and when I'm saying this, I'm just talking about things which happen around just leading up to the game. Suddenly, you know that you're just one step away, so all the emotions are just going haywire, and you start somehow not staying in the present, but starting to just go ahead that, you know, what's going to happen after you lift the World Cup. So that is the tricky part, I think, for anyone to be able to deal with a scenario like that, it's very important that you stay in the present, you control the controllables, and that's what I look to do.
India starts its journey this weekend. It's also, by the way, Zahir Khan's birthday this weekend, 7th October. Boy, so happy birthday. I should have wished you right at the very start. But is that, as we start this World Cup, first, of course, Australia in a big match, in a way, against one of the favourites, is it to take it a match at a time? Is that possible in a World Cup? Just focus on that match, live in the present. Is that the way you would tell this Indian team to approach? Don't even think about that next weekend we are going to play Pakistan. Just think about what we are going to do against Australia.
Well, you have the by and large plan. Like I mentioned, for us also it was just about maybe a year, 2 years prior to the tournament. You just kind of start having a conversation around that, that what it will be like, what kind of conditions you will be playing in, what will be the factors which will matter. And that just sets your tone subconsciously for the big tournament. So I hope that part is done. And when you're looking at the lead up, you're looking at that squad, there are a lot of positives. You're seeing all the players are in good form. They've got the runs under their belt. Bowlers also have ticked all the boxes nicely. You've seen a standout performance by each and every individual in that bowling lineup as well. Be it Kuldeep, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj. So those are all positives leading into the World Cup. Now, once the tournament starts, it's just about taking a game at a time, not getting too anxious as well. So managing those emotions is also going to be a very important part. And as a group, I think enjoying each other's success, enjoying each other's company, creating that atmosphere in the dressing room. These are all small little things, but matter a lot in a tournament like this.
Okay, I'm talking to India's greatest ever left-arm fast bowler. So let's start with the pace attack, because many believe that is one of the strengths of this Indian team. We are possibly going into this World Cup with arguably our best ever fast bowling attack. We can debate that. But when you've got Shami, Siraj and Bumrah, do you believe that you would play all three as far as possible? Do you think that's possible? And do you think pace is a better way to go into a World Cup, or in Indian conditions is spin the way forward?
Well, yes, it's the best attack, you would say, of the names which we've taken together. Okay, but so far leading up to the World Cup, we've not seen them play that kind of attack. So, they've been opting out for Shardul as their third seamer, and then Hardik to support as a fourth seamer. So that's how the stack up of the bowlers have been.
Would you play all three? Would you be tempted?
Yeah, I've been saying that.
You've been saying that, play all three.
I've been saying that Shami, Bumrah and Siraj is going to form a very formidable attack if you want to be aggressive. So, there are there are opponents which you will play against where that you have to take wickets to set the tone. And I think if you want to be aggressive as a tactical move, then this attack should be there. If you're looking at game on the whole, and that's how you planned, and your squad also has been picked according to that, then it's fine. There is no harm in playing the other option. But I've been saying that you can't be prisoners of your own thoughts. So you've got to be a little flexible in terms of tactically staying ahead of certain opposition teams. And that is something which I'm waiting to see, that I hope that flexibility is there.
So you're saying different teams in a way for different matches. If you were playing Pakistan, do you play aggressively? If you're playing Australia, do you play aggressively? How would you look at
depends.
These two teams? Because these are the two first big matches.
Yeah, it depends on how you set the tone, right? And depends on your thinking as well. So if you're thinking of taking 10 wickets, that means with the ball, you're trying to be aggressive.
That's the way you would go.
Correct. But in certain games, you don't have to do that in all the games. Certain games you say, okay, their bowling is looking strong, so you might need an extra cushion in batting. And for that reason, you add a bowler who can bat. So that should be the approach. So it should be the tactical approach more than having a fixed plan of saying, okay, this is what we feel and this is how it's going to go. First match is obviously going to be played in Chennai. So tactically, you want an extra spinner in your bowling lineup. So that makes the case for a spinner to come in place of maybe Shardul, which you'll see, and creating those spin trio to take the advantage of the conditions.
So in a Chennai, you might go with a Ashwin, a Kuldeep and a Jadeja.
Correct.
In other places, you would go with your three fast bowlers. Just two of those names in this attack that I want you to look at. One is Siraj. Remarkable what he did against Sri Lanka in that final. And are you impressed with just the pace at which he seems to have progressed to virtually becoming almost a spearhead of the attack?
Yeah, also Bumrah has not been around for a while,
That's right. So he had the opportunity.
Yeah, he has grabbed the opportunity with both the hands, and it's great to see he's been bowling those overs day in day out, and I think today's day and age, when you're looking at the bowlers approaching, they're kind of approaching the game in a very measured manner. Where they're saying, okay, I have to bowl 10 overs or I have to bowl 12 overs. But Siraj is someone who's been consistently playing all the formats and not saying no for the captain to throw a ball at him. So that's the great sign. And that's something which I'm very happy to see. Has produced a lot of good performances and just he's getting better and better. But I think the key for his success is just bowling the overs which he has bowled at the highest level.
The other two I wanted to look at was Kuldeep Yadav, because he's become an X factor. I was at a discussion the other day. Many said he is the best spin bowler with a white ball at the moment. We tend to sort of suddenly rediscover players, but he seems to be bowling a little slower, more accurate, and with a more variety at the same time.
Well, Kuldeep is someone who is going to hold the key as far as spin department is concerned. I think the middle phase of the game is so crucial in ODI format. If you are able to get wickets in that phase, it's just going to put you in a very strong position going in the back 10 of your bowling innings. So from that point of view, I think if he's in the wicket-taking form, which he has been in, it will be a great help for the bowling unit to come together.
The bowling looks solid at the moment. The batting, are you as confident about the batsman? There was a lot of question marks over number 4. Who should play number 4? Is that settled in your view? Shreyas Iyer to go into most games at number 4. Rohit, Shubman, Virat, Shreyas and KL Rahul are your top 5?
Well, Rohit, Shubman, Virat for sure. And then at number 5 also you'll see KL. At number 4 is the debate which is still open, I would say.
Still open.
I think tactically, if you want a left-hander, you can always put Ishan Kishan there. You have Shreyas, who's been very good with spin. So that's the option which they have. And again, what Rohit also was very vocal about, along with Rahul, is that they want to have that flexibility. And I like that thought. So you can actually tactically approach the game. Depending on the form also, you can take these calls. Going in the World Cup, you've seen Bumrah was on the injury list. You've seen Shreyas on the injury list. You've seen KL was on the injury list. So all those boxes are ticked nicely. All those concerns which you had leading in the World Cup, they're actually been addressed very nicely. They've managed that scenario situation very well. Now the playing 11, it's all depends on who is really taking that spot and how the management is looking at it. You just got to back that.
I interviewed another of your colleagues who won a World Cup, Harbhajan Singh, and he said he would pick Surya Kumar Yadav. He said, I want X-factor cricketers to play in a World Cup. And he believes Surya Kumar Yadav has an X-factor that will put the opposition on guard. Would you be tempted to take Surya Kumar, or is it again flexibility, choose him in a particular match against a particular opposition?
He does. I rate him very high. There is no doubt about it. He does possess that X factor. But I'll tell you from the leading up to the World Cup and how things have been moving before that. You've seen Surya batting at number 6. So when Hardik was not taking part in the previous series, you had Surya taking that position. So the plan and the preparation from the team management's point of view, how they are looking at it, is that Surya is going to be that number 6 position more so right now than number 4. So it's going to be between Shreyas and Ishan Kishan, I would say, for that number 4 spot. And it's going to be a tactical call which the management will make.
And then you've got your top 3. Rohit Sharma is arguably, possibly playing his last World Cup. Maybe even Virat himself, though Virat could be fit at 40 as well. And you've got Shubman Gill. how good is Shubman Gill? He's down with dengue. We don't know whether he'll play the first game, but he should be there for most of the World Cup. Could he be the new, you've seen Sachin, you've seen Virat. Could Shubman be in that same league? Or am I running ahead of myself?
No, well, look at his year. The year 2023 has been phenomenal year for him. He's been scoring hundreds, double hundreds, across formats, very consistent. I've actually mentioned that, he's going to be the leading run scorer for this tournament. That's the kind of year he's having.
Shubman Gill will be the leading run getter of the tournament.
I mean, he's got the potential.
Yeah.
He's batting in the top order. It all depends on how you set the tone for the tournament. For a batter like him, if the first couple of innings he gets into the World Cup with nice innings under his belts, then it's just going to be a really great World Cup for him. And I will not be surprised if he's one of the leading run scorers for the tournament.
There are those who believe, and you watched him very closely, Rohit Sharma may be not at his prime in the way he was 4 years ago. Is that fair, or do you believe experience matters above all else? Same thing with Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli still runs harder than anyone else in the team. So he seems fitness is not a problem. Or do you think that they need some extra motivation of a World Cup? Rohit's never won one. Virat could be the first to win 2 World Cups, first Indian to win 2 World Cups.
Well, a tournament like World Cup is the motivation, isn't it? Like for all the big players we've seen, also these kind of emotions really get the best out of you. The facts which you rightly put it out there right now, leading in the World Cup, all these questions, okay, when you answer these as a player, it just gives you a whole lot of satisfaction. So the World Cup is that kind of a tournament where all the participants are actually thinking in the similar way that 4 years, who knows where I'm going to be. I'm not sure whether I'll be part of another World Cup. Yes, when you're a youngster, you're thinking differently, but the players which you're mentioning obviously will be thinking about this World Cup being the last, and they will be motivated because of that. So I think it's a great sign for a team. And for Rohit also, if you're saying that once you get in the World Cup, you want to save your best performances for this. So that motivation, that inspiration is always going to be there. So is Virat.
I want to go to the big matchup, India versus Pakistan. You played a big match, India versus Pakistan in Mohali in 2011. Yeah. Now it's in Ahmedabad. India going to, according to you, clear favourites? Are we a much better team than the Pakistanis, or would you say it's a 50-50 battle?
So I would say India is favourites, and I'm not just saying that, the numbers are also backing that. And in front of your home crowd, it's a big stadium, 120,000 people. You know what's happening around the ticketing situation, so you know that is going to be every seat of that and more will be taken for sure for that game. So that's going to create that atmosphere which can overwhelm anyone. And I think that is also one hurdle which Pakistan team will have to cross. So that pressure of the crowd which they'll have to deal with, and the record which is not in their favor, especially with ICC World Cup tournaments. So all that add up, and you're looking at both the teams as well, you know that India will have that edge going into that match.
Because they've got possibly the best left-arm fast bowler in the world at the moment in Shaheen Shah Afridi. They've got in Babar Azam someone who's a top-class batsman. You're saying India advantage, but these are the 2 people to fear in that game?
Well, with regard to batting, I think they are overly dependent on Babar for sure. You look at Rizwan is another guy who, with the bat in hand, has got a good record. Iftikhar is another guy, I think, so these 3 will be taking that load of batting department. And with bowling, missing Naseem Shah is a big blow for their World Cup campaign. Shaheen Shah and Haris Rauf is definitely going to be the one to watch out for and be careful of. There is no doubt about it. It's how you set the tone. I think for Pakistan, if they are looking to bowl first, and if these 2 bowlers are not creating that impact up front, then things can go downhill from there.
I want to ask you, who's your favorite therefore? If you had to pick your 4 semi-finalists, I've been first asking everyone 4 semi-finalists. Pick your 4 semi-finalists for us.
See, I've been saying I'll start with the dark horse. Because see, when you're looking at top 4, most of the guys are saying the same thing. But I think for this World Cup, South Africa to me is looking a decent team.
Okay.
And definitely going to be a dark horse.
So that's your dark horse.
Yeah.
Then
India, England, Australia.
England, despite losing so badly to New Zealand.
Yeah, they had a tough start. But I think they will be able to recover.
Okay, so South Africa as your dark horse, England, Australia and India.
Yes.
So you're keeping the New Zealanders out. Okay. We'll,
And I had actually said Pakistan as my 4th team.
Ah, interesting. So you think the Pakistanis, you could still have a second India-Pakistan semi-final, possibly in Kolkata.
Could be.
You know, when you now look at the game, you played multiple roles. You're administrator, you're director of the Mumbai Indian teams. Is that more difficult being out there and watching and handling a Mumbai Indian team than actually playing for India? Is the pressure just as much?
Well, I think just generally when you are not playing the game, when you're playing the game, things are in your control, right?
That's
if you feel something, you can do something about it. But when you are just doing things around the game and then seeing what's happening on the field, that does add to that extra bit of pressure. So, but you adapt, you figure out your ways. I really enjoy my job, so there is a great satisfaction in staying connected with the game. I get to see a whole lot of youngsters coming through, seeing them, trying to see how you can help them, trying to see who is going to make it, who is not going to make it. It's very exciting. And also in some way or the other, throughout my playing career, that came very naturally to me in terms of just putting hand around someone's shoulder and saying that how things should be done or how one should approach the game. So I'm just trying to extend the same approach in my philosophies here as administrator.
I want to ask you therefore in conclusion, you've given us your 4 semi-finalists. Who's going to win the World Cup? Who is Zahir Khan's pick for the World Cup? What does your head say? What does your heart say?
Oh, like that. I think head and heart are rooting for India. And I'm just saying it because of when you're looking at the squad, it's looking a very well-rounded squad. You look at the individuals who've been part of the team, you look at how they've been shaping up. And when I'm saying shaping up in terms of leading into the tournament, you look at their form. It's just about starting the tournament right.
As good as your 2011 team? Is 2023 versus 2011? If there was a matchup between the two, who'd win?
I think Indian cricket right now, if you look at the last, say 11 to we are in 23 now, so 12 years. You look at how the cricket has evolved and you look at who is ruling the world of cricket right now. I think you would say India.
No, 2023 team of India would defeat your 2011 team?
No, it's not about defeating.
In a perfect matchup?
It's
Zahir
not about...
Khan, Sachin Tendulkar, Yuvraj Singh versus Bumrah, Shubman.
See, I would say you have to defeat who you are playing against, right? So you can't compare the two teams in that way. I'll say that this team for sure has the potential to go the distance.
Okay. One final piece of advice you want to give this team. The one thing as a World Cup winner that you want to tell the 2023 team as they go into this big World Cup.
I think soak in the pressure and be free.
Soak in the pressure and be free. Lovely words there, Zahir. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You've been, as I said, the finest left-arm fast bowler this country has produced. And as a World Cup winner, you've done so much for the game and you continue to do that with the Mumbai Indians team. So thank you very much for speaking to us. The one and only birthday boy. Happy birthday again. How old are you? 21?
Yeah, 21. Just about that.
Ready to bowl?
Ready to bowl.
So if you're looking for someone in a World Cup final to bowl 3 maidens in a row, you know where to turn. The one and only Zahir Khan. Thanks for watching. Stay well. Namaskar.
You are are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company. You are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
All political parties traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political back.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
Co-powered by आपके भरोसे के लिए मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस.
Well, it is here. The World Cup begins now. Pardon me for being a bit partisan, but for us and billion-plus Indians, the World Cup well and truly begins today. I know it is day 4 of the ODI format World Cup, but tell you what, India versus Australia, a perfect way to kickstart this big tournament. You are watching Battle of Champions with me, Nikhil Naz, and joining me, it's a privilege to have Mr. Sunny Gavaskar join us live in the studio because it is a big game. We've got the big guns analyzing and letting you know exactly what you can expect from this particular encounter. Saiva, I'm actually feeling the excitement today. I know it's been 4 days, we've been covering the other games, but today morning when I woke up, it felt different. It felt like the World Cup begins. Is it similar sort of sentiments that you have right now?
You could say that because, you know, with the other matches, there was not that sense of anticipation. Yes, you know, there was a one-day, there was a World Cup, but this game, clearly, I think because there are two top quality teams, two former champions playing against each other, both of them looking to get the first, you know, step in, getting the first blow in, get the first advantage. So yes, I think very, very exciting time, and well, I can't wait for the coin to go up and to find out who's going to bat first.
Well, I mean, a lot of people talking about potentially it could be, you know, a World Cup final being played this early because these are two teams which many would have thought might just reach the finals.
Yes, I think you know, England still in my book are the favourites, but Australia, for the sheer experience they've got of winning the World Cup so many times, they know how to come back from tough situations. India too in recent times have been playing some extraordinary cricket. So yes, I do believe that these two could be the ones that you will find in the finals in Ahmedabad on 19th November.
All right, there's also some big news coming in from Chennai because that's where the encounter is. And as you can see right now on your screens very, very shortly, the big news is that you've got Shubman Gill, who's definitely going to be missing out on this game, because up until now there was speculations whether the opener is going to be fit or not. But now we can pretty much confirm on India Today that Shubman Gill is not going to be part of the Indian playing 11. That is because the opener has not traveled with the team to the ground. He's still in the hotel resting. Remember, we knew that he probably had dengue. He was, suffering from some high-grade fever in the last few days. Coach Rahul Dravid had mentioned that yes, he's recovering, but they were not sure whether he's going to participate or not. And then Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, came yesterday and said that, listen, before we are cricketers, we are humans. I don't want to rush him in. I want him to be fit and fine, and only then we'll look at getting Shubman to play. He has been the star for India this year. If you look at this calendar year, the highest run getter for India in white ball format. So he's going to be a big miss for the Indian team. But what we're telling you right now, about half an hour before the toss is done, before you get to know the Indian team, that Shubman Gill is not going to be part of that 11. A quick reaction from Sunny Gavaskar. Anyway, I know that you've got enough firepower in your bench as well, but yet missing out on Shubman Gill is not an ideal way to go about in your first game.
Definitely not. And when you look at the young man's form, he's been in unbelievable form. The two matches that he played against Australia, he got a 70 at Mohali, got 100 at Indore. So man in prime form against the same opposition, pretty much the same bowling. Yes, I know that Mitchell Starkton played the first couple of games and Josh Hazelwood perhaps was not at his best in the first couple of games. But clearly, when you lose a man in such, red hot form, that can affect the feeling in the team just a little bit.
All right. Let's take a look at the World Cup format now. We will get back to India versus Australia. We will look at, what the combination is like, where are Australia's weaknesses, where are India's strengths. But you know what? We're eagerly awaiting that first game, India versus Australia. As I mentioned at the start of the program, for us, the World Cup begins now. So we here at India Today thought that let's give you an idea of, reminding you just how big this World Cup is, from the number of games at each venues to the cash prize. We've got you completely covered. So here's a detailed report on the 2023 Cricket World Cup, just so that you can catch that World Cup fever if you haven't caught it so far.
After 4 years, the best cricket teams in the world are coming together to fight it out for unarguably the biggest prize there is, the Cricket World Cup. In this year's edition of the World Cup, there are 10 teams going head-to-head with each other. The one difference though from the previous edition being that West Indies don't feature, and in come the Netherlands. Now let's give you a closer look at the venues hosting matches this year. In total, there are 10 venues which will host World Cup matches, and India will be playing at 9 of those. The tournament kick-started in Ahmedabad, where 5 games will be played in total, including the final of the World Cup, and India will be playing their marquee match against Pakistan in this very city. Moving north, the national capital will be hosting 5 games as well at the famous Arun Jaitley Stadium, and India will be playing the second match of their campaign here on October 11. Going further north to the city of Dharamshala, where another 5 games of the World Cup will take place, India's tricky clash against the Kiwis will be taking place here on October 22nd. Much like the previous venues, Lucknow too gets to host 5 matches, and it will be the first time that World Cup matches will be held at the Ekana Stadium, where India will be taking on the defending champions. The 5th city to host World Cup matches will be Kolkata, and India will be taking on the Proteas here on November the 5th. Another 5 matches will be played at the iconic Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, and on November the 2nd, India will be playing the same opponent that they had beaten at this very stadium to win the 2011 final. The next city to host 5 matches will be Pune, and on October the 19th, India will be taking on Bangladesh in Pune. The Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore will be hosting 5 matches as well, and India's last round-robin match will take place here against the Netherlands. At the Chepauk in Chennai, another 5 matches will be held, and as for India, well, they'll start their campaign here on Sunday against the mighty Aussies. The 10th and last venue will be Hyderabad. Only 3 matches will take place here, and it's the only venue where India will not be playing a match. The format for this year's World Cup is the same as that of 2019. No groups at all, and every team will play each other once, and the top 4 will progress to the semi-finals. The teams finishing in the top 4 will progress to the semis, where number 1 will play number 4 and number 2 will play number 3. After all the grind, the team winning the World Cup will be awarded $4 million USD, while the runner-up will get $2 million USD from a total pool of $10 million USD. But that amount pales in comparison to that of other sports. The FIFA World Cup, for example, had a total pool of 163 million USD, and the Wimbledon had a pool of 65 million USD. But at the end of the day, there is no bigger prize than winning the World Cup for your countrymen, and the one team that sits on top of the tree is Australia. 5-time champions, gunning for a 6th title, and India would be hoping to become the second most successful team with 3 titles. India would also be hoping to continue the trend of the home team winning the World Cup, as has been the case in the last 3 editions, and they would look to restore the smiles of more than 1 billion people. Sports Bureau, India Today.
All right, that should bring you up to speed with all the big numbers regarding the Cricket World Cup. All right, also joining us alongside Sunil Gavaskar, 2 of our other cricket analysts in Harbhajan Singh, Suresh Raina, both of them members of the 2011 World Cup winning squad. And Harbhajan, let me start with you on this one. We now know that Shubman Gill is not going to be playing this match. According to you, who do you bring in into the 11 and where does he bat?
I think if Shubman Gill is not available, then I think straight away Ishan Kishan will come into the team and he will be the opener with Rohit Sharma, and then of course rest remains same. I believe it's very unfortunate that Shubman Gill got dengue and he won't be able to play. If he is not able to play, then you know, I believe that Ishan Kishan is the guy who can come in and score those runs up front, and of course he's a left-hander, that advantage will always be there. So in my view, Ishan Kishan will open with Rohit Sharma if Shubman Gill is not fit.
Sanjay, what according to you should be the replacement? You'd go with Harbhajan as Ishan Kishan?
Yes, I think looking at what Ishan has done for India in the few opportunities he's got at the top of the order, he would be the one to bat at number 1 or 2 to replace Shubman Gill. He'll also give the left-handed version, left-handed option, and sometimes that can make a difference for the bowlers, particularly in limited overs cricket. Because what is a good ball to a right-hander is a wide down the leg side to a left-hander.
Yes, he will make full use of that. Suresh Raina is also with us. Suresh, for you as well, both our analysts here have picked Ishan Kishan. For you, firstly, does Ishan come in? And if he does, where do you bat him? Top of the order? Because there's another school of thought, maybe have Virat open, get Ishan to bat in the middle order, as been doing in the last few games, or no, you get Ishan to open?
I think Ishan Kishan should play. I think he's been batting really well, and Rohit and Ishan, they both batted together in IPL. They both know each other really well, and Ishan also scored a double-hundred, and his energy brings a lot of joy to the Indian team. We have seen that in past. Hopefully Ishan will play and he should open with Rohit Sharma.
All right, so it's unanimous amongst all our experts that go in with Ishan Kishan, and the other thing that they all agree on is get him to open, get that left-hand, right-hand combination, which can then trouble the fast bowlers in terms of the line that they have to bowl in this particular game. Let's also take you live now to Chennai. Our correspondent Rahul Rawat now joins us from there. Rahul, up until now, you've been traveling. You went to Ahmedabad too. Really could not see that World Cup fever so far. How is Chennai feeling? I know it's going to be hot, but the temperatures must have risen because it's India versus Australia after all.
Well, it's actually pretty good. The weather, of course, is hot and humid. I've been out since 11 in the morning. In fact, the mood and the buzz that you wanted to see, I think it's right behind me. And as far as temperature, it's hot and humid. The wicket we haven't seen so far, and obviously the reception that the Indian team has got, because this city loves its cricket and it also loves its cricketers. Because usually, Chennai, you also associate them with the color yellow, and most of the times, every year, annually, you see these stands filled up with people wearing those yellow jerseys. Today, they'll be up. The Indian team will be up against a team that actually wears the yellow jersey. But whatever I've seen here, it's, the fans, everybody here. There are so many fans who've travelled all the way from so many parts of the country and they haven't got tickets. Still, they are here. They had queued up right in front of gate number 4 where the team bus was to arrive. They didn't have tickets. They just wanted to see their superstars, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Ravindra Jadeja, and that's how the scene is here, Nikhil.
Okay, tell us a bit about the Indian team as well, Rahul. You've been watching them practice. Yes, there was no Shubman Gill because he was unwell. But what are the areas that they've been working on, and how is the team looking in general?
Nikhil, a lot of these batters spent a lot of time in the nets taking those throwdowns from the left-handers, from the left armers, the sidearm specialists that the Indian team has. So that's one area. In fact, every batter that I saw, be it Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, or anybody, Shreyas Iyer, all these batters, they had one thing in mind. I think Mitchell Starc was playing in their mind. It's not that they were afraid. It's always better to be prepared for things that you might encounter in reality in days to come. So that was one area. Ishan Kishan, I heard Mr. Gavaskar, Harbhajan and Suresh Raina discuss with you about Ishan Kishan's possibility. That was the only option. I'm sure a lot of people may have thought that, if they promote KL Rahul, because if he bats at number 5, that's way down in the batting order for him in the presence of Shreyas Iyer. But the management, especially Rahul Dravid, spent a lot of time with Ishan Kishan day before yesterday at the practice, and I think that was a clear indication that Shubman Gill was not going to be fit or be playing in this particular game. Now the question is, he is actually racing against time to be fit for the game against Afghanistan, which I think that he possibly may have to miss that game as well, because the temperatures here, I've been here traveling for the last 1 week. I don't know how it is in Delhi. I'm sure the evenings must be cooler, but here in these with such a hot and humid climate, it's going to be very, very difficult for anybody, be it anybody. And for Shubman Gill, who's on antibiotics, under medication, it was always going to be a very difficult task for him. Just that, now Rahul Dravid, under this regime, under Rahul Dravid, they don't reveal anything till the last moment.
All right, Rahul, thank you so much for those updates. That's also part of gamesmanship. You don't want the opposition really to know who's going to be playing or not. And sometimes we've seen it in the past that, if you've declared a player unfit and then on the morning of the game he's fit and then you have to quickly make a change. It happens to teams that announce their 11 sometimes, and then in the morning you realize, one player is fit. But, talking about the heat, Rahul mentioned much better here in Delhi. So if Shubman kind of improves on his health, he could then be tempted to play in that Delhi game. But even if he's not fit, I think you need him for a much bigger game that's going to come after the Delhi encounter. That is going to be India versus Pakistan. So one thing is pretty clear. Everyone's mentioned Ishan Kishan is that man who should be opening. And it's clear cut from Indian team strategy, as we found out in the practice session, that Ishan is going to be opening. The other bit of, in terms of playing 11 thing that you need to see is number 8. Who's going to be at number 8? Because sometimes you've gone with fast bowling all-rounders. Sometimes you've gone with a spin bowling all-rounder. Let me put that question to Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan, who do you reckon is going to be playing in Chennai? Will it be Ashwin or Shardul at number 8?
Yeah, I think on this wicket, Chennai, where a lot of talks are going on that it's a slow wicket and normally it's help spinner and Australia. is your opponent. So Australia, they play fast bowlers better than the spinners. I believe playing 3 spinner would be ideal on this pitch. And if you happen to win the toss, look to bat first, and all these 3 spinners can come in very handy with Ashwin's experience, Kuldeep Yadav's form, and Ravindra Jadeja is being Ravindra Jadeja. Played so many games here for CSK and won so many matches for CSK here in this ground. I think it will be very crucial, how well Indian spinner will bowl in these conditions. So I think number 8 will be not Shardul Thakur but R. Ashwin, simply because conditions are in favour of spinners, not in fast bowlers.
All right, one off spinner standing up for the other off spinner. He wants Ravichandran Ashwin to be part of that 11. Saibhai, similar for you as well. Also the fact that we forget, this is also Ashwin's home ground. So he would know every blade of grass in this particular stadium.
Yes, also because of the way he bowled against the Australians and the opportunities that he got. Look, I think he's got confidence. If, for example, he hadn't bowled well against the Australians, you would have said, yeah, maybe let's go for a Shardul Thakur because he can tonk the ball around. But the way he bowled against the Australians, the way he was getting the ball to loop, I do believe that, irrespective of whom you're playing, I think Ashwin should be really up in that 8 spot for just about every match.
We heard from one off spinner. We've got another off spinner, Suresh Raina. Suresh, what do you reckon? Ashwin or Shardul?
It has to be Ashwin because Ashwin played a lot of matches there and he knows the condition really well. He can also bat. Depend if they are going with 2 spinners, the Jadeja Ashwin will play, and Ashwin also brings a lot of batting experience as well as he knows the condition really well.
All right, no coincidence that 2 off spinners have picked Ravichandran Ashwin. Interestingly, Saibhai, we had a fast bowler on India today just before we began this program in Zahir Khan. He, of course, stuck with his fast bowler and said, no, we should get in Shardul Thakur. So the only opinion that matters in this particular discussion is that of Sunny Gavaskar, because in that sense, neutral, though he will claim a few wickets that he got in international cricket, but a neutral opinion. And I think this is something that was expected. You were going to go in with the more experienced pro in Ravichandran Ashwin. Also, the pitch in Chennai is expected to be a spin-friendly track. But how is that the 2 teams are preparing at the moment? It's the clash that everyone in the country has been waiting for. India's first game of the Cricket World Cup. It will be played at the Chepauk Stadium in Chennai, as we've been talking, against the most successful team in World Cup history. Now, India versus 5-time champions Australia. So fasten your seatbelts as we build up to the big fight between these 2 teams.
The top-ranked team in the world is ready to get its World Cup campaign underway. And the journey for World Cup glory begins from the city of Chennai. The expectation from the Indian players is massive, and the pressure will be on the men in blue to deliver right from the word go.
You want to win the World Cup. It's the biggest prize that you can have in your career. But again, there's a way to do it. There's a procedure that you need to follow. There's a process to it. In desperation, you can do so many things that can lead into so many other things as well. You got to find that balance, right? Balance to stay desperate and stay hungry.
The task at hand for India isn't mean either. They go head-to-head against the team that more often than not emerge as world beaters in every big tournament. They're much superior to India in head-to-head in World Cup encounters, beating the men in blue on 8 occasions and losing just 4 times. But India know how to get the better of the Kangaroos. In the last World Cup meeting, it was the men in blue who came up on top.
The captain of India.
These are 2 sides very familiar with each other, and both find themselves facing some issues with regards to their personnel.
You learn a lot of things. I want him to get well. Not the captain thinking, oh, I want Gill to play tomorrow. No. I want him to get well because obviously being sick is not. No one likes being sick.
We'll announce the team tomorrow at the toss. Stoyings, yeah, still touch and go. He's going to have a run out this afternoon, but probably up against it. He's got to jump through a few hoops, so yeah, we'll see.
Conditions are expected to suit the Indians much more since they're playing at home. But conditions aren't a problem for the Aussies, it seems.
It's no doubt helpful playing a lot here, not only for Australia but IPL. I've probably played more white ball cricket in India than I have in Australia over the last 10 years. So it's conditions we know really well. And I think the positive thing is we've had, we've played some really good one-day cricket against India over here over the last few years, so we can draw back on that.
A win will be on the minds of both the teams as they look to make a huge statement at the start of the World Cup.
Looking to get a win under their belt.
Sports Bureau, India Today.
Absolutely love that statement by Indian skipper Rohit Sharma, where he says, there is a difference between desperation and hunger, and we need to realize that when we are chasing a World Cup dream. Still have Sunny Gavaskar, Harbhajan Singh and Suresh Raina with us. Harbhajan, to you on this one, we'll have the toss shortly, but what's that one weak area you think in the Australian team India should look to target?
I think Australia's weakest point would be, playing against three quality spinners. I think, not to just survive, but also to look to score runs against those three spinners would be very crucial. And I think that's where I do feel that that's their weakest point getting into this game. And of course, this venue particularly will favor the spinners. So we'll have to wait and watch, how Australia will play the spinners. And that's what I consider is their weakest point when they do play spin.
Suresh, what about you? Harbhajan reckons the spin bowling department of Australia is their weak area. That is what India should look to target. What do you reckon?
I think they don't have a good quality spinner. They only have Adam Zampa and Glenn Maxwell. Probably that's the area. I think if Shreyas Iyer is playing, and when Maxi is coming, he should go hard at him. And then you have Virat Kohli, then you have KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Jadeja also coming. So hopefully they should target Glenn Maxwell, Adam Zampa, and they have a few all-rounder also. They need to just play smart cricket. They need to play the situation, not the expectation. Make sure you know where you want to attack and which area you want to attack. So make sure you analyze the situation and play according to the situation.
All right, we're running out of time. We need to take a break because the toss is about to happen. But before I let all our experts go, Suresh, one final question to you. Once the toss happens, what do you think? Because you know this ground better than anyone. You've played all your IPL here. What's the right thing to do if you win the toss here?
If you win the toss, I would say look to chase because the lot of dew will be there. And having a solid batting lineup, you can also put runs on the board, then you have a good bowling lineup also. But I think Rohit will bat first because he wants to put runs on the board and he wants to pressurize the Aussie batsmen.
All right, that's very interesting from Suresh. He says that the right thing to do here is to chase, but he also knows that Rohit might not do that. He may win the toss and decide to bat first, put up a total, because that's something that's really worked for the Indian team. We'll take a short little break here on Battle of Champions, but don't go anywhere. When you come on the other side, we'll have the playing 11, the toss updates, and more analysis with Sunny Gavaskar. So see you on the other side.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
शिवसेना हमारी नेचुरल एलाय है, राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस ये हमारी पॉलिटिकल एलाय है।
इलीगल सरकार बैठी हुई है, वो सत्ता में विजयते हैं। अगर सत्य बोलो तो डराते हैं, धमकाते हैं। ऐसे देश नहीं चलता है।
राष्ट्रपति शासन लगाने का आइडिया ही शरद पवार जी का था।
No question is going with BJP.
In 2022 June, the NCP MLAs, all 51, are
desire at that time was to join a BJP-led government in Maharashtra.
All the allegations made against the NCP were politically motivated.
After years of low returns, bank fixed deposits are in the contention again. Interest rates of FDs have shot up in the past 1 year thanks to RBI's war against price rise. Repo rates skyrocketed to 50 basis points in a span of just 9 months. The fastest pace ever at which money became costlier. However, the era of interest rate hikes seems to be over for now, minimizing prospects of FD rates rising further.
Taking into account the evolving inflation growth dynamics and the cumulative policy repo rate hike of 250 basis points, which is still working through the economy, the MPC decided to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 6.5% in this meeting of the MPC.
What the RBI has also done is remove a provision under which banks parked 10% of their deposits with the RBI. This was done to suck out excess liquidity of 1.1 lakh crore rupees from the banking system as a tool against high inflation. With inflation seen at a more comfortable level of 5.4% this fiscal, the cash provision has been removed, leaving banks flush with cash. Deposits of 2,000 rupee currency notes has also boosted liquidity in the market, giving banks little reason to offer higher interest rates to attract more deposits, leading many to believe that the interest rates have hit their peak. But will banks now resort to interest rate cuts? Several banks have already started reducing interest rates of fixed deposits. HDFC Bank recently lowered interest rates on 2 special FD schemes. Axis Bank, Punjab National Bank, Union Bank of India, DCB Bank and IndusInd Bank have also cut FD rate. However, there is little chance of a steep fall in fixed deposit rates, but analysts are suggesting that those looking for the safety of fixed deposit instruments opt for longer tenure FDs, which will ensure higher interest rates for now. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company. are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Co-powered by आपके भरोसे के लिए मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस.
Welcome back to the Battle of Champions. We're building up to that big game, India versus Australia. Very shortly, we'll have the toss and the playing 11 for you. But right now, I'm joined by Sahir Gavaskar. Sahir, before we took the break, I was talking to both Harbhajan and Suresh Raina about that one weakness that Australia has. And both of them pointed out that it's probably their spin bowling department that India can look to target. But we saw in that game in the series just before the World Cup started, Glenn Maxwell goes on to pick 4 wickets. Can we really say that they have a weak spin bowling department?
Well, yes, as far as the bowling is concerned, their real strength is in their 3 new ball bowlers, Hazelwood, Mitchell Starc and the captain, Pat Cummins. After that, I don't think they've got the bowlers who can really restrict an in-form Indian batting lineup. You know, if people are going to batting the way they did, like for example, when we saw the centuries from Shreyas Iyer and Shubman Gill, they were not able to stop. For me, the area that India should really look to capitalize on is when Smith and Labuschagne are batting. Because that is where they are the kind of batters who like to work the 1s and 2s. They are not the big hitters like a Warner is, or a Mitchell Marsh is, or a Maxwell is, Cameron Green can be. So, you know, that's the area that they've got to really get their overs in very quickly against these guys. Those 15-20 overs, if you can bowl to Smith and Labuschagne and maybe concede 4 runs and over, or at best 5 runs and over, 60 to 75 runs, you are giving yourself less runs to chase in case Aussies bat first.
All right, we are getting news from Chepauk that Australia have won the toss and they have decided to bat first. So that's the big news coming in from Chennai. The Australian skipper, Pat Cummins, winning the toss and they've decided to bat first. That's very, very interesting because just a short while ago on our program, we heard from Suresh Raina saying that the right thing to do in Chennai this time of the year is to be chasing simply because you get a lot of dew this time of the year. So a bit surprising that Australia then have decided to bat first. Saima, what do you make of the decision and what do you think could be the reasons behind it?
I think, there could be 2 reasons. One is obviously it's a big game, lots of pressure on the Indian team. So you want to put runs on the board. So you put pressure, scoreboard pressure on the Indian team when they come in to chase. But I think the other more important reason is that the heat. The heat is such in Chennai, you know, even now, is that, you know, you don't want to get tired fielding for 3.5 hours. So when you're going in, you know, some part of your energy levels have been taken away while you're fielding. So maybe you might get a good 70, 80, but if your team needs 150, you might not have that as a batting unit. So I think that's one of the reasons that it could be that they have opted to bat first.
Just looking at it in hindsight, would India be okay chasing one? Because if that dew factor does play out, and with India, if they've gone in with 3 spinners, they would prefer in that sense to be bowling in the first half so that the spinners then can be doing, all the damage. And on the other, we don't know with this Australian batting lineup, as you mentioned, they've got a lot of hitters. So we really don't know if you're batting first, what is really the par total. So in that sense, if you're chasing, you can pace your innings in the right manner?
Yeah, India has always been a good chasing unit. Not such a great defending unit. Unless you get 300 runs on the board, give your bowlers 300 runs. And sometimes even that has not been enough. So I don't think India will be complaining at all. As you said, they don't have to bowl with a wet ball in case in case there's a bit of dew, as Suresh Raina, who's played a lot of cricket over there, talks about. So clearly, yes, it might actually work in India's favour, that India is going to be chasing whatever Australia puts on the board.
Okay, Saima, I have the team with me right now, and you've got Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan. So no surprise there, as everyone expected. Ishan Kishan does make it to the team. Number 3, Virat Kohli, no surprises there. there were a few question marks whether Shreyas Iyer would be playing in the 11, because there was also talk about Surya Kumar Yadav. So now those doubts are also cleared, because Shreyas Iyer does make it to the 11. He's going to be batting at 4. At least that's what the batting card mentions for the Indian team. KL Rahul, as expected, the wicketkeeper batter, at number 5. Then you've got Hardik Pandya at number 6, which is also pretty much sealed. You've got Ravindra Jadeja at number 7, the spin bowling all-rounder that India has. And interestingly, as was being expected, Ravichandran Ashwin is at number 8. So India then have gone with 3 spinners, because at number 9 you've got Kuldeep Yadav, and then the 2 fast bowlers, you've got Jasprit Bumrah at number 10 and Mohammad Siraj at 11. So again, if you are looking as to who would play between Siraj and Shami, that question is also answered. It is going to be Mohammad Siraj at 11, and India going in with 3 spinners. Anyway, it's pretty much on expected lines, you'd say, the 11 that India has picked.
Yeah, pretty much on expected lines, at least the lines that I wanted. Because I wanted 3 spinners to be there. Kuldeep has been bowling really well. Ashwin bowled really well against the Australians. And Jadeja, I mean, he's what a package he is, batting, bowling, fielding. So he's an automatic selection. So good, really good selection this by the Indian team. Sad that Shubman Gill is not around, but clearly I think Ishan Kishan will relish the opportunity to show what he can do.
Okay, we also heard from Indian captain Rohit Sharma at the toss, and he said the conditions are there for the bowlers. The pitch seems slightly on the slower side. The ball will turn as the game goes on. He feels that he's got all his bases covered. Unfortunately, as he mentions there, Shubman Gill did not recover in time, and that is why Ishan Kishan is replacing him. He says the conditions are there for the bowlers. It's slightly on the slower side, so we know then this is a typical Chennai pitch, because there were also certain amount of analysis where you said it's a cricket World Cup, you usually get a good batting track. That's what we tend to see in big tournaments, but Chennai giving you a typical Chennai wicket in that sense.
And therefore it'll be interesting to see whether he brings in Ravichandran Ashwin in the power play itself. Yes, I think maybe because there is a new ball available at both ends, you can have maybe 3 overs from the new ball bowlers, and maybe the other end have a new ball bowler bowling 6-8 overs. But from one end, after 3 or 4 overs, is he going to bring in Jadeja? Is he going to bring Ashwin? Not Kuldeep Yadav, but Ashwin or Jadeja. That'll be interesting to see.
The other bit, Saivya, because he mentioned it's on the slower side, do such pitches tend to get better under light, and especially when the dew also comes about for batting?
Yes, I think because what the dew does is it helps the ball to skid on to the bat after pitching. If it is a dry surface, it will stop and turn a little bit. It won't come onto the bat as quickly. But the dew will mean the moment the ball lands, it will not even grip as much and turn as much. It will probably come onto the bat that was quicker.
Okay, we've also got the Australian 11, and let me quickly run you through the Australian team. You've got David Warner and Mitchell Marsh as the openers, no surprises there. Then you have the 2 fulcrums of the team in Steve Smith and Manas Labuschagne. We also expected that. Then you get Glenn Maxwell at number 5 for Australia. Alex Carey is their wicket-keeper at number 6. Cameron Green, the all-rounder, batting all-rounder I'll call him, is at number 7. And then you get the captain in Pat Cummins, a handy bat, at number 8. Mitchell Starc, Adam Zampa, Josh Hazelwood then round up that 11 for Australia. But just looking at that batting lineup, Saibhai, Pat Cummins, quite a handy bat, coming in at number 8, tells you the depth that Australia have in their batting.
Yes, and I'm a little bit surprised that Stoinis is not in the team, because Stoinis can be the disruptor.
Just to fill you in on that, Saibhai, they're saying that he's not fit and not available.
Okay, so well then I think there's no surprise in this team at all. Three new ball bowlers, that's their strength. Zampa, because he's occasionally bowled well, and I think he's bowled well to Kohli. Sometimes you get one batter out, a number of times you think he's got your number, and this is just the right kind of time for Kohli to show, look, nobody has his number, and that he'll get the big runs against him. But on anticipated lines, expected lines as well, what the 11 would be. Like I said, it's just a question of either Cameron Green or Stoinis for me. Stoinis would have been my pick rather than Green, because Green is not the finished article as far as being an all-rounder is concerned. As a batter, yes. As a bowler, perhaps you and I can also score a few runs against him.
Not me, Saibhai, you for sure. And I'm only saying because he's age 70 plus. Much younger would have scored tons of runs against.
34.
34 against a bowler like Cameron Green. But interestingly, we see two different strategies from these two teams, because I'm now comparing, we have the 11, so I'm now comparing the two 11s. Australia have gone in with one regular spinner in Adam Zampa. Of course, Maxwell, the part-time spinner. India have gone in with 3 spinners. Is it primarily because they're seeing the conditions differently, or do you think, no, they're playing to their strength? So you play in your best bowlers, irrespective of whether they're fast bowlers or spinners?
I think they're playing to their strengths. At the end of the day, you'll probably be looking at the opposition as well, and then maybe look at whether to go in with an extra spinner or go in with an extra seam bowler. And that is what you'll find as the matches go on. Maybe against a team like South Africa, in England, you will find the 3 spinners playing. Maybe against Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, you will have maybe 2 spinners playing and 3 new ball bowlers playing. That can happen against the opposition, against a kind of surface.
That is the kind of surface that is on offer, as I mentioned, because we heard from the Indian captain Rohit Sharma saying that it is a double pace wicket. That is what he feels as of now, and it is a pitch that might just be assisting the spin bowlers, and which is why India has decided to go in with those 3 spinners. Just on the Indian batting lineup I mentioned earlier, could have been, do you look at a Surya Kumar Yadav now, or you go in with a Shreyas Iyer? He showed some good form too. You're happy with the decision that India has made? And if you are to bring Surya, maybe later half of the tournament is some place that you'll look at?
Yes, I think, well, I mean, that's a great option to have somebody like a Surya Kumar Yadav. But Shreyas Iyer is the guy who's we've seen score hundreds. And at number 4, you want somebody who's going to score hundreds. If you're looking at somebody at 5 or 6, that is where you might look at maybe Surya Kumar Yadav. But in the top 4, you want guys who will go on to get hundreds. Surya Kumar Yadav has got 100 in T20 cricket as well. So I'm not saying he doesn't get hundreds. But the kind of batting that we have seen from Surya Kumar Yadav in ODIs so far does not guarantee that he will get you that 100. Therefore, I think Shreyas getting the nod ahead of him is not a surprise as far as I'm concerned.
All right, so Shreyas Iyer is playing. Just running you through that playing 11 once again for India. You could see it on your screens right now. The openers, there's a big change. If you're just joining us live right now, that Shubman Gill is still not recovered. Rohit Sharma points that out. So you've got Ishan Kishan, and it's pretty much certain now, looking at the team sheet, that Ishan Kishan is going to be opening with Rohit Sharma. And then you've got pretty much a settled middle order in Virat Kohli, followed by Shreyas Iyer, followed by KL Rahul, and then Hardik Pandya, and then comes in your all-rounders as well as your bowlers in Ravindra Jadeja, then Ravichandran Ashwin, and then your Kuldeep Yadav, followed by the 2 fast bowlers in Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah. I'm just looking at Ravichandran Ashwin making it to the 11th. What an incredible last few days it must be for him, because if you rewind back to maybe a year, 2 years, in fact last 4 years, hardly been part of any white ball cricket for India. You thought that India has moved on in white ball cricket. Of course, he remains a champion in test match cricket. That's another matter, that he did not play the WTC final. And then not only does he make it to the squad last moment because of a few injury, makes it to that 11. Incredible.
Incredible, and that's what sometimes fate has in store for you. And I think, maybe there are big things to be expected of him now that he's got the opportunity. He is the kind of cricketer who relishes a challenge. He wants a challenge. This is the challenge for him to show that he belongs over here. That whatever had happened earlier on, whatever the reason he was not thought of as being part of the squad, not just 11, part of the squad, that's it. He's the kind of cricketer who will have forgotten what has gone past. For him, this is a challenge. He will be already thinking how to use this opportunity so that he cannot be dropped in this tournament. Maybe after that, another matter. In this tournament, he will play in every game. That's what he'll be looking to do in this game.
Okay, let's also run you through the Australian 11. We have that graphic now ready. We'll have it on our screens right now. And just take a look at the balance of this team. You start with the openers. You've got David Warner and Mitchell Marsh as the openers. Then you go down that batting order, and number 3, just like India have Virat Kohli, the mainstay of their batting at number 3. You tend to see that fulcrum for every team at number 3, and no surprise that Australia have got Steve Smith coming in at number 3. Then you look at Manas Labuschagne. We were just talking about Ravichandran Ashwin making it to that 15 and making it to the 11. Similar story for Labuschagne as well, because he was not considered earlier to be part of that 15-member squad, makes it to that 15-member squad, and then a few injuries, especially to head, and then he makes it to that 11 as well. Then you are getting into the all-rounders. You can see Cameron Green's name here, but I have a feeling that before Cameron Green comes out to bat, at number 5, you will actually have Glenn Maxwell. He's a destructive batter, also chips in with the bowling. So you will have Maxwell bat higher up at 5. Then you might have an Alex Carey, followed by a Cameron Green. So that's your top 7, which looks very, very good. And then comes the captain in Pat Cummins. We've seen him win a lot of games with the bat, especially in the IPL. You've seen him win from hopeless situations, take his team across the finish line. So then the captain comes in at number 8. And then you have the bowlers in Zampa, Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazlewood. In fact, many would point out that Starc himself can tonk a few and is a handy batter then batting at number 9. So one thing that really stands out in that 11 that you're seeing on your screen right now is the batting depth that they have. Having said that, Saima, you were talking about Stoinis. That's going to be a big miss for them. Travis Head, also another miss, because we saw his form just leading into the World Cup. Now, unfortunately, he's injured, but was outstanding for them.
And also a left-handed option. That always, is a big problem for all the fielding captains, because suddenly you've got to change the field around. Suddenly your bowlers have to look at the change in line from leg stump to off stump again. Those kind of things. So clearly, I think that's going to be a big miss as well. And of course, the kind of batting that we've seen from him in recent times. Earlier on, he was more a stodgy player looking for 1s and 2s. In the last couple of years, he's become a more attacking player. And he's taken that form into Test cricket as well as one-day cricket.
Last couple of questions, Saima, before we wrap up our program. One, just before this game, these two teams played a series, so they know each other's strengths and weaknesses. In that particular series, India looked like the dominant side. Should we pay heed to that, or you should just forget about it? Because once the World Cup starts, Australia is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yes. I mean, those were matches where it was more like a sparring, session rather than a full-blown, bout. And I think this is going to be the real thing. So be prepared for some fireworks, both, with bat ball and maybe a little bit of, chirping on the field. But I think this is what cricket is all about. And particularly from these two teams, I think in recent times, the rivalry between India and Australia has been much looked forward to. And because it's produced, some great cricket, wonderful cricket, batting, bowling, fielding, we've seen that. And I don't see any exception in this game as well. I'm looking forward to this game because I think we're going to get to see some outstanding cricket.
Okay, finally, we want you to look into the crystal ball and kind of give us a prediction. What do you reckon would be a total that Australia get to, considering it's a spin-friendly track, and then do India chase that down or not? Don't tell us Afghanistan is going to win the game, as you said.
No, I think on the surface, batting first, maybe Australia can be restricted to about 260 or thereabouts. And I think India can then, bat accordingly.
Bat according to the situation, according to the conditions on offer. 260 would be that total that Saima feels Australia could get to based on the conditions as well as the bowling lineup that India has. And then India, 260-70 is sort of a total that India have championed when it comes to chasing in white ball cricket. That's the kind of batting lineup that they have. But Saima, thank you so much for joining us, giving us that perspective on this particular game, India versus Australia. As I said at the start of our program, that is the moment where the Cricket World Cup really starts for 1 billion plus Indians. So, get your favorite chips, popcorns, whatever your poison alongside that, and enjoy the next 8 hours or so of the cricket match between India and Australia. We just hope the weather stays good, because there is some prediction of rain later in the day, but also a reminder that we're going to be live throughout on India Today. Mid-innings is the next time that we'll be coming live with Sunny Gavaskar, looking at how Australia batted, and then of course post-match as well once the game is done. For the moment, from Mr. Gavaskar and me, Nikhil Naz, signing off.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
haircare is rapidly changing with new power ingredients making way. For instance, retinol can soon be passé probably thanks to bakuchiol, which does the same job as retinol with minimal side effects. Even Deepika Padukone stabs it. Retinol is not well tolerated by many, causing intense sensitivity to some. Bakuchiol, on the other hand, can be called retinol's gentler cousin, which is natural, less irritating, and a vegan alternative. Deep exfoliating scrubs are now replaced with peeling pads with glycolic and salicylic acid, which is Dermat approved. I tried them and found them even better than the in-clinic peels. FCL, for instance, is specially formulated for the Indian skin.
You know, acid pads don't suit every skin. You have to take advice, professional advice, before you start using them, because some skins just react to them. And if it suits you, I think once in 2 weeks is good enough, not more frequently than that.
Natural is overrated. Everything natural is not good for your skin. Even poison ivy is natural. Does that mean you start applying or having it? No, right? If you are trying to look at natural options, look for products that are of medical grade that contain only pure, high quality ingredients that are natural but far more concentrated to help treat and heal with myriad skin concerns. My personal favorite is vitamin C serum and an active serum that treats the skin well.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Kapil Sharma at the success party of an online betting app, now under investigation for massive fraud and money laundering. The ED has summoned the popular comedian for questioning regarding his show at the September 2022 event in Dubai. Actors Huma Qureshi and Hina Khan have also been summoned for promoting the same app. Meanwhile, Ranbir Kapoor has sought 2 weeks' time from the Central Probe Agency to appear for questioning. The Bollywood actor suspected of receiving cash payments off the books for promoting a subsidiary application of the Mahadev betting platform. It is not yet clear whether the ED has pushed back his questioning originally scheduled for Friday. Ranbir Kapoor, Kapil Sharma, Huma Qureshi and Hina Khan are the only Bollywood celebrities under investigation by the law enforcement agencies. India Today obtained a video from the extravagant wedding of Saurav Chandrakar, the wanted promoter of the Mahadev online betting application. This video showcased numerous stars attending the gala event in Ras Al Khaimah, UAE in February. The grand wedding caught the attention of the ED, and so have other celebrities such as Tiger Shroff, Sunny Leone, Neha Kakkar, Atif Aslam, Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, Ali Asgar, Eli Evram, Bharti Singh, Bhagyashri, Kriti Kharbanda, Nusrat Barucha, Krishna Abhishek and Sukhvinder Singh. Based on digital evidence, the ED has traced Rs 112 crore delivered through Hawala to an event management company for the extravagant wedding. Payments totaling Rs 42 crore were made in cash for hotel bookings. The groom and host of the wedding accused of money laundering involving thousands of crores. Saurav Chandrakar, a juice maker at Bhilai in Chhattisgarh till early 2019, turned a billionaire in the United Arab Emirates. His Mahadev online betting application secured endorsements from several other actors and celebrities. Despite multiple raids across India targeting suspects linked to Chandrakar's betting activities, celebrities continued to attend the parties he hosted abroad. A massive betting scam seemingly built on the back of technology and celeb promotion. With Divyesh Singh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Armed with facts, she takes the news by its horns.
You think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Hello, you're watching India Today and I'm Aishwarya Paliwal. Let's start the show with the headlines. Israel and Palestine is at war. Over 300 Israelis have been killed so far and over 1,500 have been injured. Dozens of Israeli soldiers and civilians have been taken as hostage. Over 250 Palestinians are dead. Israeli Prime Minister has said that they will reduce Gaza to rubble. Indian students struck in Israel amid the Hamas terrorist attacks on Israel. Government says that it's a working day and night to bring the students back. A multi-front attack on Israeli soil. World leaders are condemning the terror strike. Israel said it will avenge this terror strike. Defense forces are now aggressively responding. Probe in Bengal recruitment scam is now intensifying. CBI searches taking place at a Bengal minister's house. His house has been surrounded by a dozen CRPF personnel. Back-to-back strong earthquakes rock Afghanistan. Almost 200 people have died so far. This is one of the deadliest earthquakes to strike the country in over 2 decades. Australia to bat first against India at the Chepauk Stadium. Ishan Kishan is playing in place of Shubman Gill. News that's just come again. Israel, in fact, has now intensified its attack against Gaza. 400 terrorists have been killed so far in Gaza by Israeli army. According to Israel, all the symbols of Hamas rule at the moment are under attack. There will be heavy fire that will intensify in hours to come. There's currently no additional threat in the northern area. There are air and ground forces. We are ready in all sectors. This is a statement which is now coming from the Israeli forces. 400 terrorists have been killed in Gaza by the Israeli army.
We've so far targeted 500 targets, among them houses of the commanders of the Hamas, all of the governing centers of Hamas, including buildings that are used for governance. And we will continue with the attack. There are hundreds of terrorists that have been killed, and many have been captured. We've killed more than 400 terrorists in Gaza, and we have tens of terrorists in captive.
One can very clearly see that the retribution from the Israeli side has been extremely swift. And this is exactly what the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, had said. He had said that now they are gearing up for a war, told the citizens to buckle up, and also said that this attack is something that they will not forget, and revenge will be something which will be swift. Revenge is not only swift, it in fact is extremely targeted and focused. The visuals that is now being released by the Israeli army very categorically shows those buildings are being targeted, which according to Israeli government houses Hamas, people who belong to the Hamas organization. Joining me on the broadcast is Yaakov Katz, the former editor-in-chief of Jerusalem Post.
Hi.
Hi. Yaakov, I would like to start by asking you, the retribution has been extremely swift, and this is exactly what the Prime Minister had also said. Benjamin Netanyahu very clearly said that the retribution will be swift, it will be very focused, and they will make sure that they bring all those people who are involved in this exercise, all of them will be brought to justice.
Yeah, look, Israel is responding to this attack that was forced upon it. Israel did not want this war. But yesterday, 1,000 Hamas fighters and terrorists armed to the teeth came in. They were not looking to attack Israeli soldiers. They went into Israeli communities, into homes where people were sleeping, elderly, young, old, men, women, children, and just murdered as many people as they could. We have hundreds of Israelis who were just murdered. We have about over 100 who have been taken hostage and abducted by Hamas in Gaza. This was something the likes of which Israelis have never seen before, and Israel now is defending itself as any country would against a murderous Islamic terrorist organization.
Yaakov, for many, this unfortunately is bringing back horrific memories from almost 50 years ago. Do you believe what we are seeing now, the visuals that are coming onto the screens, this actually will scar the people for the next 50 years?
Look, I think that what happened 50 years ago, it was the Yom Kippur War that began in October of 1973. And that was a war that took Israel by surprise, a war that the Syrian military, the Egyptian military invaded Israel. Israel was unprepared. There was also then an intelligence failure, an operational failure. And we thought that we learned those lessons. But we saw yesterday is that unfortunately there are still those challenges, and Israel was caught by surprise for a number of reasons, and we will have time to inquire and investigate and determine what happened. But for now, this is a war to defend our home, and we are sending our children and ourselves to go fight to be able to defend this country and for Jews to be able to live here safely in our ancestral homeland.
Yaakov, stay on with me. Zahir Khan, the Deputy Editor-in-Chief at the Jerusalem Post, is also joining us on the broadcast. Do you believe no lessons have been learned so far? And a lot of people are now, a lot of experts in fact are saying that the domestic turmoil within Israel is to blame for the current situation.
I don't think the lessons have been taken. I think the situation is worse than we've ever seen. We are proud of always claiming to be the startup nation, the high-tech nation, and I think we are. But yet we still missed so much in these multiple attacks. The situation is very bad internally, internationally for Israel. People are, in trauma, obviously, as Yaakov mentioned. And definitely the government is part of this, major part of this blame. National Security Minister, who was a right-wing, extreme right-wing party, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has barely been seen in public or on media. And he actually loves the media. Like, he usually is always on radio, always on television, and suddenly he's kind of disappeared from the scene. So I think many Israelis feel that there's not enough of a leadership and enough of managing this situation. We saw as the story develops, we're more than 24 hours after this started, and we still do not really understand what happened. And that is a very big deal. And the IDF usually prides itself, and Yaakov is definitely a professional on issues of defense, and he could probably elaborate. But, we always look at other armies around the world and say, how haven't they taken over after X amount of time? And we're now at that situation.
Zvika, I would also like to understand, you spoke about the fact that a lot of people are now questioning where is the leadership. But when one speaks about the Mossad, when we speak about, the kind of retribution that they have done over the past many years, over the past many decades, questions are now also being asked as to why the agency was not able to gather any chit-chat with regards to what took place.
I mean, I think there's the Mossad and there's the Shin Bet, which is the more internal secret service. I think that's definitely a question because, as you said, the Mossad is a name around the world for one of the most, the strongest secret agencies around the world. And yet, such a huge number of terrorists was able to actually come into Israel, go into villages and to cities and to kill people and to kidnap people, civilians, something that we've never seen before. Yet the intel, whether it was there or not, it definitely was not implemented. So there is definitely also criticism towards this issue. And again, because we don't know everything yet, and because there's so much speculation, and because people are getting so many disinformation of videos and text on social media, whether it deliberate, propaganda from the Hamas side, or whether it, just our army giving us updates, they're not telling us the whole story yet. We still do not know about the number of people who have been kidnapped. We do not understand exactly how, security cameras weren't able to, see what was going on and why it took so long to take over this. So definitely our security forces are also to blame in this situation.
Yaakov, I would come to you because a very important point has now been made that the army is not presenting the full picture. In fact, the country does not know the exact number do not know the number of people who have died and what exactly took place. Now, those are the big questions that the people at the moment are asking.
Look, there's a lot of questions, right? We're still in there's what's known as the fog of war, and we're still in that fog. This is the immediate aftermath. We're just 24 hours later. There's still fighting that's taking place in certain parts of the south, in certain communities where Hamas fighters are still there. It will take time for the Israeli military to be able to assess and understand and inquire and investigate itself to understand exactly what happened. But what I have to say is that is secondary. Right now, this is a fight over Israelis' lives and for their homes. The first and foremost objective is the campaign to defend the state of Israel. The second objective is to hit back at Hamas, to degrade its capabilities, and to prevent it from being able to attack Israel again. The third objective is to prevent another front from opening, hopefully not in the north, where Hezbollah this morning fired mortar shells from Lebanon, and there are some clashes taking place there. Israel wants to keep this conflict with Hamas and Gaza contained and isolated. It does not want to have to fight a multi-front war, but if it will need to, it knows how to. And then the fourth objective will be to try and recover the hostages that were taken by Hamas into Gaza. The thing that will come after all of that will be what happened. How did this go wrong? What are the lessons we need to learn? But right now, we are in the middle of this war, and that is what needs to be fought right now.
Yaakov, what do you think will happen in the next 1 week? Because we are seeing majority of the people are at the borders. The idea is to make sure that those people who are in the country, they are safe. We saw some of the images coming out and we saw the streets were deserted. And the authorities are now asking people, do not step out until you really have to.
Yeah, look, this is going to be a difficult period ahead. Things might seem a little quiet this morning, but we have extensive forces that are being built up and deployed along the border with Gaza. You have about 4 Israeli divisions that have been deployed there. Those are thousands and thousands of soldiers who are now there. Israel is getting ready for a possible ground offensive and assault into Gaza. And unfortunately, I think that in this case, we have not seen Israeli soldiers enter Gaza in about 10 years since the war of 2014. This is required today. Israel needs to hit back at Hamas. It will not be enough to do the work from the air. Israeli soldiers will need to go in on the ground. That will come at a cost, and that will be painful for this country, but it will also be extremely painful for Hamas, and they need to pay a price for what they did. What happened yesterday can never be acceptable by any democratic country, by any country in the world that believes in the preservation of life, believes in human rights, believes in allowing people to live safely, as India does. And India knows these feelings and knows these experiences from its own encounters with Islamic radical terrorists. Israel needs to be able to defend itself and have the support of the world.
Zvika, bringing this question to you now, Yaakov spoke about the fact that India understands what exactly is taking place in Israel. Words like revenge are now being spoken. Do you believe, if need be, every citizen of Israel will be out on the streets defending the country?
First of all, we've seen an amazing turnout on reserve for the IDF. I live in a neighborhood where, I think there's barely any men left in the neighborhood because they've all been drafted, and most of them voluntarily to the reserve and to protect our country. So I think even though we're in an era of kind of internal turmoil regarding issues actually that have to do with our army and our democracy, I feel like people are, stepping up and volunteering. And I think the difference between us and the Palestinians, though, is the beautiful and amazing positive things that are happening right now. You would never see hundreds of Israelis going in and killing and kidnapping Palestinians. When the IDF tries to enter a certain area, they announce the civilians to leave. There's a whole protocol of human rights that we obey as a country, as an army. We have ethics that we go according to. And now we see people just helping each other out. Mothers who are getting together and taking care of their children, there were people who needed to get to their base, but there was no transportation. So people with Jeeps, 50 people with Jeeps, just gave them rides, organized rides for them to go. And again, as an army that fights for a democratic country, that goes according to a very specific way of things doing. Revenge is something that we would do, and our country will do, in a way that is civilized and internationally, probably even more civilized than other Western countries.
Yaakov and Zvika, thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast on India Today. Now, after an unprecedented attack which was launched by the Palestinian militant group Hamas on Saturday morning, Israel said that it has secured control of a police station, one of the several southern Israeli towns that Palestinian fighters were able to penetrate into. Hamas's military wing has now claimed that terrorist groups have returned to Gaza after raiding a Cree Israeli military base on Saturday. This base, in fact, was taken over by Palestinians for at least 10 hours before Israeli forces were able to regain control. The fighting between the Israeli Defense Forces and Hamas is still ongoing. Rocket sirens continue to sound in many parts of southern Israel. The regions located near the Gaza Strip, one could hear warning signals in that entire strip. Now, in a briefing on social media, an Israeli army spokesperson said that the situation isn't fully under their control yet. Now, Israel has declared a full-blown war on Hamas terrorists. Hours after terror group Hamas attacked several cities of Israel, the Prime Minister of the country, Benjamin Netanyahu, announced that they are now launching Operation Iron Sword. This is an operation which has been launched to eliminate the terrorists who have infiltrated the Israeli territories. Netanyahu has cautioned people to vacate the Gaza city as Israeli forces are now all set to operate forcefully to destroy Hamas hideouts. As per Palestinian officials, over 200 people have been killed so far in a counter-offensive which has been launched by Israel. The images that you see on your screens, black and white images, have now been released by Israeli Defense Forces. These videos now show boats and vehicles being targeted by the Israeli jets. 300 Israelis have been killed in this sudden terror attack which took place early hours of Saturday morning.
Hamas has made a grave mistake this morning. It launched a war against the state of Israel. Israeli Defense Forces troops are fighting against the enemy at every location of infiltration. I can call on the citizens to follow the security instructions from the Home Front Command. The state of Israel will win this war. I want to say one thing. Hamas has opened the gate of hell in the Gaza Strip. Hamas made the decision. Hamas will pay for its deeds. The state of Israel suffered a severe blow today. We are all hurting, we are all angry. But states and wars are not managed in pain and rage, but calmly and from a strategic understanding. We need to put politics aside now in favor of an emergency government that will conduct this campaign with determination and will not engage in anything else until the complete victory over our enemies.
Of the ongoing war between Israel and Palestine can in fact be heard in India also, because unfortunately several Indian students are now stranded in Israel among the ongoing war. Union Minister of External Affairs Meenakshi Lekhi in fact has said that the Prime Minister's office, the PMO, is monitoring the situation very closely and is in fact in touch with those stranded Indians. She said she's personally assured the students who reached out to her that the government will bring them back and will bring them back safely. Indian embassy in Israel has also issued an advisory for Indian citizens today. The officials asked Indians in Israel to remain vigilant and to observe all the safety protocols. The press release also asked Indians to avoid unnecessary movement and to stay very close to safety shelters.
I received many messages last night, and through the night we were working, but I'm also aware that Prime Minister's office is directly supervising the situation and we are on the job, and I'm sure Government of India and Prime Minister's office is directly in touch with those people and is working and monitoring the situation.
Prime Minister has already very specifically mentioned that we are shocked at the terrorist attack on Israel and we stand in solidarity with the people of Israel. Instructions have been already given. The advisory has been issued by the Indian embassy that Indians should be cautious. Indians should stay close to the places of their regular stay of thing, and for any requirement they should inform and be in touch with the Indian embassy.
That's all the time we have on this bulletin. We are leaving you with these visuals which are coming from the war that is taking place between Israel and Palestine.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
शिवसेना हमारी नेचुरल एलाय है, राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस ये हमारी पॉलिटिकल एलाय है।
इलीगल सरकार बैठी हुई है, वो सत्ता में विजयते हैं। अगर सत्य बोलो तो डराते हैं, धमकाते हैं। ऐसे देश नहीं चलता है।
राष्ट्रपति शासन लगाने का आइडिया ही शरद पवार जी का था।
No question is going with BJP.
In 2022 June, the NCP MLAs, all 51, our desire at that time was to join a BJP-led government in Maharashtra.
All the allegations made against the NCP were politically motivated.
A big setback for AAP MP Raghav Chadha. A Delhi court has ruled that he has no right to occupy the government bungalow given to him after the allotment was cancelled. The allotment of a Type 7 bungalow on Pandara Road in Delhi to the Member of Parliament was revoked by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat in March. He was told that the allotment had been cancelled as Type 7 was higher than his entitlement as a first-time MP and he was allotted another flat. Subsequently, Raghav Chadha approached Delhi's Patiala House Court against the Rajya Sabha Secretariat and got a stay order against the dispossession in April. After the latest setback in court, Raghav Chadha has alleged that the cancellation of the duly allotted official accommodation was arbitrary and was done without giving him any notice. Raghav Chadha has also slammed the BJP, saying the allocation was cancelled at the behest of the ruling party to target the opposition.
This fight that I should have a bigger Type 7 type of bungalow, which is normally kept for ministers and others, not a first-time MP, it only confirms one thing, that the Aam Aadmi Party practices political duplicity. This entire fight is about all the trappings of power. I want a bigger bungalow, I want a sheesh mahal for myself, I will spend public money for my own benefit. Their focus was never to serve the people.
The opposition has backed the AAP MP.
जिस तरीके से राघव चड्ढा को पहले डिस्क्वालीफाई किया गया पार्लियामेंट से, फिर उनके घर को लेकर उनको विकेट करने को कहा है, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। ये उसी क्रोनोलॉजी है जहाँ पे जो लोग विपक्ष में रहकर बुलंदी से अपनी आवाज़ उठा रहे हैं, उनको सिलेक्टिव टारगेटिंग करना, सस्पेंड कर दें, फिर आप उनके घर ले लें, तो ये गलत है।
Raghav Chadha is yet to announce his next move. Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
The net seems to be widening. Nearly 40 celebrities under the ED lens. Among them, Sonakshi Sinha, Sunil Grover, Sara Ali Khan, Malaika Arora, Aftab Shivdasani, Urvashi Rautela, Raftar, Guru Randhawa under scrutiny for allegedly showing up at this event in Dubai last year. The success party of Saurabh Chandrakar, the wanted promoter of the Mahadev online betting application, accused of massive fraud and money laundering. The Enforcement Directorate has already summoned actor Ranbir Kapoor and comedian Kapil Sharma for questioning. Actors Huma Qureshi and Hina Khan have also been summoned for promoting the Mahadev app. Ranbir Kapoor suspected of receiving cash payments off the books for promoting a subsidiary application of the Mahadev betting platform. India Today obtained a video from the extravagant wedding of Saurabh Chandrakar. This video showcased numerous stars attending the gala event in Ras Al Khaimah, UAE in Feb. The grand wedding caught the attention of the Enforcement Directorate, and so have other celebrities such as Tiger Shroff, Sunny Leone, Neha Kakkad, Atif Aslam, Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, Ali Asgar, Vishal Dadlani, Eli Avram, Bharti Singh, Bhagyashree, Kriti Kharbanda, Nusrat Barucha, Krishna Abhishek and Sukhwinder Singh. Based on digital evidence, the Enforcement Directorate has traced 112 crore rupees delivered through Hawala to an event management company for the extravagant wedding. Payments totaling 42 crore rupees were made in cash for hotel bookings. The groom and host of the wedding accused of money laundering involving thousands of crores. Saurabh Chandrakar, a juice maker at Bhilai in Chhattisgarh till early 2019, turned a billionaire in the UAE. His Mahadev online betting application secured endorsements from several other actors and celebrities. Despite multiple raids across India targeting suspects linked to Chandrakar's betting activities, celebrities continued to attend the parties he hosted abroad. A massive betting scam seemingly built on the back of technology and celeb promotion. With Divyesh Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
I call on stage now Agastya Nanda. Big round of applause, please. So do I call you Archie? Do I call you Agastya? Which is it?
Whatever you like, whatever is easier.
All right, welcome to the India Today Conclave,
Thank you so much.
Agastya.
Thank you.
Archie Andrews, we all know of him as, the proverbial boy next door, the Casanova who's kind of, stuck between Betty and Veronica, loves music. Am I defining Archie's character or Agastya's character?
Archie, I wouldn't call myself a Casanova. I think something that we did share in common was music. Archie loves music, and I think music has the ability to make you feel a lot of emotions, deal with a lot of emotions. So I think that's where we kind of were similar, but I'm definitely not any Casanova. But yeah.
Okay, let's hope it stays that way also, Agastya. Why did you choose the Archies for your debut? Why did you choose an OTT film and not a big theatrical release?
I don't think you choose the Archies. It's Zoya who chose us, and I'm so grateful for that. And we auditioned for it, we got the part, and I think being on Netflix, it's such an exciting opportunity. You're streaming across 190 countries at once. It's different to what people usually do, but I find it so exciting. And I couldn't have asked for a better team of people to work with. These guys over here have become my best friends, and we hang actually a bit too much. And I think it's been a great experience.
Who's your best friend?
All of them. They're sitting here. You can't ask me about it. But
have to put you a bit in the spot, right? Your
for
first
different things.
interview?
I would go to each person for a different issue or different reasons. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you had a lot of people who've inspired you growing up as well. But who is your biggest role model, Agastya?
I mean, I would say my role model is my dadi, Ritu Nanda. She's no longer with us, but she's a person I've always aspired to be like. She just had this warmth about her. If you were around her, you'd feel like you could do anything. And I wish I could do that for the people around me. Just, you know, give them that positivity and love.
That's beautiful. So, you know, Agastya, when I found out I was going to do this session, I was quickly checking out everyone's Instagram profile, found that you didn't have one. You're part of the Gen Z, right? How is it that you don't have a social media profile?
Everybody asks me this, why are you not on social media?
I see a lot of hashtag Agastya Nanda because nobody can tag him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I know it's a bit, I'm just not good with Instagram personally, but never say never. I don't think that I'm going to shut off the idea of coming on Instagram. And plus I have my sister, who's my greatest PR. She posts everything that I need, and my mom, and I'm sure they're watching this right now.
Do you have a secret profile that you're not telling us about?
No. Yeah, I do. But I do it so I can watch reels and, you know, see what my friends are up to. So, yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All the very best to you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Agastya Nanda for you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, thank you. All right. So let's have the next character up, starting off with the poster reveal of Ethel Monks. Can we have Dot on stage, please? Big round of applause for Dot. There you have it. Lovely look, by the way. I must say, Ethel is one of my favorite characters of the Archies. She's so quirky. She's so eccentric. Is that why, you know, you were also really happy to play her? Are you like that in real?
I think I'm definitely an oddball. I don't think I was one of the cool ones growing up. And I think also the people who like Ethel from the Archies are some of the more offbeat kind of people. And I'm happy to serve them because, I guess want to be.
But you know, you're saying that you're a lot like Ethel, right? Does that make it easier or harder to kind of play the character?
I think being quirky, yeah, sure, that makes it maybe easier. But I think it was a bit hard for me to, because I'm among the older side of our age, of our little group. And I think it was a little hard for me to maybe go back in time and reimagine myself as the dorky high school kid. So, yeah.
You know, you're someone who sings amazingly, and we'll get to that. I know that request is coming. You sing and you act. It's something that's very common in Hollywood, but not very seen in Bollywood. So are you hoping to kind of break that, be a singer, actor combined?
You know, acting was never in the cards for me. It just sort of happened because Zoya wanted one of my tracks for this film, and I have worked with Netflix in the past with my music. In fact, Reema directed the music video to one of my songs, which is sort of how everything came about and how everything started. So music is my first love. I like to sway to music that plays in the background, the kind you critique in a rosy boutique in a fancy house, and everybody dances to techno while I'm on my own with Bolero. I gave love a chance, but I'm sick of romance. I just want to dance.
Wow. What a powerhouse of talent. Thank you so much, Dot, for giving us a glimpse of what you're capable of. Thank you. Oh, that's it. Thank you. All right, who's next? I'll give you a hint. Everyone's favorite character. Betty, yeah, I heard that there. Let's give it up for Betty Cooper. Khushi Kapoor, aka Betty Cooper, and there's a poster right there. Hi Khushi, nice to have you here at the India Today conclave. You're looking lovely.
Thank you so much.
You look a lot like the goody Miss Two Shoes in the poster that we see here. Are you like that in real life?
I'd like to think so. I mean, I think we were casted because there was so much of us that we have in our characters, and there's a lot about Betty that I see in myself as well, and I think I found that out the more I played her. I think she's very sweet and empathetic, but I think she's also sensitive sometimes. And she is really caring, but I think sometimes she can tend to put other people's needs ahead of hers. So I think I kind of identified with certain parts of her a lot, like the more I played her.
Are you a goody Miss Two Shoes? Should we ask Janvi that? Maybe she'll give us
Maybe she'll have a different answer than
and I don't think she'll say you are one. You know, getting into this and this being your debut, what's the one piece of advice that you always remember, and you know, who told you that?
I think, as cliche as it sounds, the best advice I got was to just have fun. And I think everyone on set at some point has told me this, because I tend to get in my own head a lot and I get nervous sometimes. But I think just being told to relax and have fun, and Zoya especially, like, so many times has come up to me and said, you know, you were meant to be Betty, just have fun and be, and I think that would just make me feel easier. Yeah.
Any lessons that you learned really from your family, from Janvi, that you feel that, you know, helped you through this journey also?
Honestly, I think it was just having that support that made it easier for me. I don't know if they gave me any particular tips specifically, but I think just having them to talk me through things and be there for me helped a lot.
Great. Thank you very much,
Thank
Khushi.
you.
All the very best
Thank
to you.
you.
Our very own Betty Cooper here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, who do we have next for us? Let's get in Jughead Jones, shall we? Mihir Ahuja. Round of applause, please, with Zahir Khan. There you have his poster being put up. Very apt representation of Zahir Jones with his favorite burger.
Yeah.
Are you a foodie like Jughead? Do you hate girls like Jughead?
When it comes to foodie, definitely I'm like Jughead. I think they already know I used to like hog a lot on set. But what's ironical is Jughead is a foodie, but he eats a lot of burgers and pizzas. I'm more of a healthy eater. I carry these tiffins on set with oats and fruits and my boiled eggs.
You're a salad boy.
So, yeah, but I eat a lot, and I'm actually blessed. That I don't know, like people say I'm blessed because I have a very fast metabolism, like Jughead in the comics. I don't put on weight easily.
You know, it's funny. I'm sure you're seeing me here and saying, look at this young boy. But in this set of 7, he's actually a veteran actor of sorts, of the 7, right? So did you feel that sense of experience kind of, did you try to boss over the others and say, hey, this is how it's done, not like that?
I mean, I've had some experience, but not a veteran for sure. No, like we were all together on set. We were helping each other. I was learning from them. I assume they were learning from me, but I was definitely. I also enjoyed the process. Like, of course, Zoya met me on the sets of Made in Heaven season 2. And that's how she told me to audition for the Archies. But I also went through the boot camp with them, the acting workshops, and the camera workshops and everything. It was a learning process for me again. It's always good to learn again. So yeah, I mean, there was no competition on set at all. We were all together in it.
What was the toughest part of this role for you? The toughest skill perhaps to learn?
So we were put through a boot camp, which was acting workshops, singing, because we are like lip syncing in the film and it's a musical, so we had to like go through proper singing classes, and then swimming sessions. I'm also playing drums in the film because Jughead was a drummer in the comics. So yeah, I am a beatboxer. I play a guitar at times. I've played a mouth organ, but drumming was something very new for me. I've tried drums in school, but this was something which I was never like very confident at. So I got drumming sessions, and I think that was one skill set which was, I won't say toughest, but yeah, it took a little bit of time.
You mentioned something very dangerous. You said you can beatbox. So now you're going to have to do it for our audience here.
I'm ever ready for it. But I'll have to minus this box, sorry, for me to beatbox.
Give that to me. Hold on. Go for it.
Can we reduce the echo, please? I would like to do something more. Since I'm at the India Today conclave, I would do an Indian beat. If you would want to join, you can.
What do I do? I can't make sounds.
Yes, this is the Indian beat.